Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Iowa Quarterback Derby, Tyler W.I. Gears vs. Nathan Stanley. Count O'Keefe breaks down all four Hawkeye QB's vertical line 154 what he sees from Tyler Wiegers, Nathan Stanley, Ryan Boyle and Peyton Mansell. Chad Leistikow 1 of 4 Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Iowa Quarterback Derby, Tyler W.I. Gears vs. Nathan Stanley. What Nathan Stanley is working on vertical line 0 minutes and 40 seconds. The Iowa QB contender discusses his off-season's biggest focus. Chad Leistikow vertical line HawkCentral.com 2 of 4 Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Iowa Quarterback Derby, Tyler W.I. Gears vs. Nathan Stanley. Tyler Wiegers, a veteran QB presents vertical line 0 minutes and 52 seconds. The redshirt junior discussed his mentality amid Iowa's QB Derby. Chad Leistikow 3 of 4 Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Iowa Quarterback Derby, Tyler W.I. Gears vs. Nathan Stanley. Any Ryan Boyle wrinkles at QB, vertical line 0 minutes and 58 seconds. The Iowa backup quarterback says there might be some red option in the works. Chad Leistikow / Hawk Central 4 of 4 last video. Next video Count O'Keefe breaks down all 4 Hawkeyes what Nathan Stanley is working on. Wiegers, a veteran QB presents any Ryan Boyle wrinkles at QB, Hawkeye quarterbacks Nathan Stanley 4 and Tyler Wiegers 8 are shown during Iowa's August 5th Media Day. Photo, Michael Zamora. The Register right parenthesis Iowa City, IA. The battle to become Iowa's starting quarterback in 2017 is important, intriguing and complicated. A slew of factors are being considered as the brain trust of Kirk Ferentz, Brian Ferentz and Count O'Keefe molds a decision that could chart the course of Hawkeye football for years to come. Nathan Stanley or Tyler Wiegers, the big-arm sophomore or dependable junior, is one of the biggest developing stories in August camp. The decision will come when it comes, as long as it takes. That's as long as it'll go, Brian Ferentz said. Right parenthesis until then, Hawkeye Nation waits. And while we wait, let's tackle the biggest questions surrounding this QB competition, a conversation that also should mention the long shots. Redshirt sophomore Ryan Boyle and true freshman Peyton Mansell. Is this really a competition? Absolutely. It is. Theories that this has secretly been Stanley's job all along are off the mark. Coaches acknowledge it would be better for Iowa football if a starter was already named. If someone was already the point man for galvanizing locker room support. Double quote, we would like to have a starting quarterback pretty quickly. Hopefully as quick as we can, said Brian Ferentz, who is taking a measured approach to choosing who will take the snap of his first official play call as offensive coordinator, because I think it's good for everyone to have a guy who is the guy. I always felt that way as offensive line coach. Double quote, it's single quote, as not like there was clear separation in the spring game. Our most recent extended look at both leading candidates. Wiegers got the game's first snaps and threw for better stats but had more interceptions, 2 versus Stanley's 1 right parenthesis. Stanley had uglier stats, aside from the interceptions, but threw for the game's only touchdown. Maybe the eye test will be more convincing at Saturday's Kids Day scrimmage at Kinnick Stadium. Why is this so complicated? A new offense with new languages being installed, that returns everyone, especially quarterbacks, to square one. And every guy is starkly different than the other. Stanley is the tank of the group, at a listed 6'5", 235 pounds, though strength coach Chris Doyle says he's closer to 240. Once set in the pocket, Stanley can launch a deep, picturesque spiral. Wiegers isn't much smaller, but has a totally different body type. His muscular 6'4", 225 frame lends itself to a more compact, efficient throwing style. Boyle, 6'1", 208, has the reputation as a hybrid run-pass threat, and the youngster, Mansell, 6'3", 210, seems to be a blend of the 3 QBs he's chasing. Double quote, one day, what we're installing might accentuate somebody else's strengths, and another day, it doesn't, said O'Keefe, who returns to the Hawkeye staff as quarterbacks coach. You're up, you're down. The one good thing about all that is it'll help Brian, as the play caller, figure out what the strengths of these guys are, so we can use them correctly in the game. Double quote, they single quote, Ray all physically different, they all have different communication styles, they all have different learning styles, and they have different playing styles. If they're all the same, it'd be a little bit easier to evaluate. Right parenthesis. Double quote, Skip and Skip X Embed X Share Close Iowa columnist Chad Leistikow offers records and insights for each of the Big Ten Conference's 14 teams. Wochitwatkin 2008 teach us. O'Keefe was the offensive coordinator here then, when the battle between Jake Christensen and Ricky Stanzi carried into the season. Christensen, the junior, had more experience, and Stanzi, the sophomore, was catching up fast. Both guys got starts in what was a choppy non-conference campaign, low-lighted by Kirk Ferentz's infamous duck feeling on Christensen in the second half, resulting in a 21-20 loss at Pittsburgh. Eventually, Stanzi took hold of the job full time, and Iowa finished 9-4 that season after a 3-3 start. I asked O'Keefe what he learned from what unfolded in that derby. He remembered that neither guy separated himself in August, and that's why it continued into September. Everybody would love for it to get done ahead of time. Sometimes it just doesn't. O'Keefe said, coaches measure what they see in practice and use that very strongly for making decisions. Then, all of a sudden, you get into games and a guy starts to do something a little bit different that is separating him from the other guy at his position. That's how jobs are won all the time at other positions. At the quarterback position, it doesn't usually happen that way, because you don't want to be using two guys if you absolutely don't have to. Bottom line, one starting quarterback is better than two, except when two produces a better one. Long-term. Stanzi was the correct and final answer in 2008. He would ultimately provide Iowa with 3 bowl victories. The Hawkeyes are 0-5 in bowls since. Iowa offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz here talking with junior quarterback Tyler Wiegers on April 7 at Valley Stadium. Says the QB race between Wiegers and Nathan Stanley is still too close to call. Photo, Michael Zamora. The Register. The case for Wiegers, the former Rutgers recruit, rated a 4-star prospect in the class of 2014 by Rivals, has no shortage of talent. Plus, he has resiliency, something C.J. Beathard possessed in spades during his 21-7 career. After serving as Beathard's backup in 2015, Wiegers last fall was hopped by Stanley for number 2 on the depth chart last fall and didn't play it down. You've just got to reevaluate and figure out what you're going to do moving forward. Wiegers told me last week, revisiting that humbling experience, you've just got to put your head down, move forward, put the work in, and hopefully it takes care of itself from there. Coaches had him ready to start the 2015 Northwestern game when Beathard's groin/hip health reached a low point. Even if he doesn't win the job, Wiegers has proven he is prepared for meaningful snaps. Keith on Wiegers, great leader, great communicator. He's doing everything he can to help everybody in the room succeed. Second thing with Tyler is, his work ethic is beyond reproach. He's done a lot of things to improve his reaction and quickness in the passing game. Quarterbacks coach Ken O'Keefe visits with Nathan Stanley. Left during Iowa's open practice April 7 at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Photo, Michael Zamora. The Register. The case for Stanley, if he wins the job and runs with it, the Hawkeyes will be positioned to feature their first 3-year QB starter since Stanzi in 2008-10. As Stanley's vast rise last August revealed, he learns quickly, and there's reason to believe he's taken big steps since April. Stanley said Saturday that when he watched his spring game film, he saw a lot of areas of improvement, a lot of area to make better connections with the receivers. I think now, working over the summer and so far in camp, we've made a better relationship with each other. Just being on the same page. In his limited 2016 action, like against North Dakota State after Beathard was temporarily sidelined with a shoulder injury, the moments didn't seem too big for him. On his first of 5 snaps that day, Stanley flipped a 37-yard strike to George Kittle. Stanley will turn 20 later this month, and despite being a true sophomore, he's actually 2 weeks older than the returning center, James Daniels, who will snap footballs to him. Keith on Stanley, he has probably the strongest arm, because he's the biggest guy. He needs to work the hardest on his feet. That's a big guy syndrome sometimes, especially for young guys, and he's sharp. He understands what we're asking him to do. Skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017. Armani Jones can squat 605 pounds vertical line 0 minutes and 28 seconds. Iowa sophomore linebacker Armani Jones discusses his recent personal record and weight room development with impressive squat numbers. Chris Quayler / The Register. 1 of 6 skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017. Iowa linebackers learning from seniors vertical line 0 minutes and 35 seconds. Iowa linebackers coach Seth Wallace has seen his young reserves learn lots from returning senior starters Jose Jewell, Bo Bauer and Ben Neiman. Chris Quayler / The Register. 2 of 6 skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017. See Phil Parker's intensity at practice vertical line 0 minutes and 43 seconds. Veteran Iowa defensive coordinator Phil Parker gets in his players' ears. 3 of 6 skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017. Watch Iowa's offense run a couple of plays vertical line 0 minutes and 43 seconds. The football team's 8th summer practice was open briefly to the media. 4 of 6 skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017 Watch Calvin Bell put Iowa's defensive linemen through a drill vertical line 0 minutes and 27 seconds. A portion of the Hawkeyes' 8th summer practice was open to the media. 5 of 6 skip and skip X embed X share close Iowa football open practice, August 7th. 2017 Iowa's defense runs through some formations vertical line 0 minutes and 42 seconds. The Hawkeyes are preparing for a September 2nd season opener against Wyoming. 6 of 6 last video. Next video. Armani Jones can squat 605 pounds. Iowa linebackers learning from senior A. Phil Parker's intensity at practice. Watch Iowa's offense run a couple of plays. Watch Calvin Bell put Iowa's defensive linemen through a drill. Iowa's defense runs through some formation. Is it all going to be okay? First year starters in Kirk Ferentz's 18 plus years have done alright. Brad Banks in 2002. Nathan Chandler in 2003. Drew Tate in 2004 and Bet Hart in 2015 all produced top 10 national finishes. Then again, when Iowa has adjusted to a first-year offensive coordinator under Ferentz, things have been rough. 1-10 in 1999 with O'Keefe, 4-8 in 2012 with Greg Davis. Right parenthesis. But if you're looking for comfort, whether the arrow points to either Stanley or Wiegers, I found some on Iowa's media day from Brian Ferentz. Double quote we single quote Ray encouraged. Ferentz, 34, said, because we have two guys that are both very well respected by their peers. They're guys that their peers see as quarterbacks. I really think that's as important as anything to playing the position. Double quote their single quote as a great chance we may need both of them before it's all said and done. Right now we feel we're in a really good place, but we're going to let them continue to compete. Double quote Hawkeyes columnist Chad Leistikow has covered sports for 22 years with the Des Moines Register, USA Today and Iowa City Press Citizen. Follow at Chad Leistikow on Twitter.